I've always enjoyed the platforming video game series known as Mario, Mario Brothers, or even Jumpman at its debut. And I can remember playing all of the 3D platformers on that series. Now out of those games, I probably have played Super Mario Sunshine the most. Now if you know me, I love Nintendo, and I love the Nintendo GameCube, and I can make a strong argument for why it is the best console of all time. But that's not what this video is about. We are here today to look at Super Mario Sunshine, and more importantly, the Pinto race on Isle Delfino. What's good, Chaotic Nation and Invisible People? I'm Chaos. Today, we're going to take a look at a theory about why Mario was arrested in Super Mario Sunshine for the graffiti found on the island Delfino. Sit back and relax as we enter the world of Super Mario Sunshine. Let's go! Just so you know, I will be spoiling major plot points of this video game, so I'm giving you a warning now if you want to play this game. However, this probably should not be something I have to address, since if you've wanted to play this game, you've most likely played it by now since it's been out for almost 17 years. So, you've probably played it if you wanted to play it. First thing that we need to figure out in this theory is why Mario is the suspect in a crime of graffiti vandalism. Now, it doesn't take long in the game to meet Shadow Mario, who wields a magic paintbrush created by Professor Egad. Now, if you don't know who Egad is, he is the scientist that you find in Luigi's mansion and is responsible for much of the technologies that you find in the Mario universe. Ironically though, Egad also made the Flash Liquidator Ultra Dowsing Device, or as it's more commonly known, FLUDD, that Mario uses to clean up the goop that is made by this paintbrush. Now this paintbrush has great powers, allowing for the creation of physical paint matter that can become real. This goop, as it is referred to, takes the organic properties and can even manifest itself as a person or another object. Often these show up as the goop monsters that are the small mini-bosses that you have to face throughout this game. We see this paintbrush used by Shadow Mario to make piles of goop around the island to steal the power of the Shine sprites. This shadowy Mario figure obviously resembles Mario in every way, except that it is only blue in its color, and does not meet the varieties of colors in Mario's clothes, especially the infamous red color. This was an issue with the first part of counting Mario as the subject, and also the criminal involved in these crimes. Now just because Mario looks like the villain doesn't mean that he actually is the villain, especially if they had the description of what this perpetrator looked like, since the color scheme would be different. Obviously, that documentation would include that this Mario is entirely blue. It's not hard to see that. It's really not hard to see that at all. Now, while that claim might not be entirely enough to allow Mario to get away from these accusations, we have some more information to go off of in this theory. We should establish the primary fact that Mario isn't even on the islands when these events start happening. We can tell this from the opening cutscene that Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth have not been to the Isle Delfino since they are watching a welcome video to the island, which wouldn't be necessary if they had seen or visited the island before. In fact, this is the first time in the franchise that the Pianta race appears in the Mario franchise. So it's most likely that this is the first time the Mushroom Kingdom is even dealing with the Piantas, and that's probably why they're going, honestly. Now my point with this is the fact that Shadow Mario can be seen in the background of several shots of the welcome video, which prove that Mario, who is on the plane to the Isle Delfino for the first time in his life, could not also be the person who is in that video, and is not the culprit of these crimes. We can see this point more clearly when Mario is subjected to clean up the island. Now by the way, they arrest him after cleaning up several messes on the runway, including the first goop monster that you have to face right at the beginning of the game. Anyway, there are several chase scenes between Mario and Shadow Mario during this game, which would show that Mario is not the culprit because he can't both be Mario and also Shadow Mario. He can't be both of them at the same time, and honestly, why are you chasing yourself if you are? This really makes me wonder about the Delfino Island's legal system. This is something I've wondered about for a long time. something I've always thought about while playing these games. If you know me, I have a small interest in law and legal systems, so Mario not being released after discovering two Mario, since our Mario cannot chase the other Mario, and we already just talked about that, you can easily see that Mario is not the one causing the issues with the goop, but rather, since he has been forced to clean the island, he is simply obeying the law of the island. To truly examine this issue, we need to go back to Mario's trial. Now, from the beginning of this cutscene, something seems off. I can understand that the game designers are giving us a backstory as to what our objective is going to be while we play this game, but the trial is flawed. First of all, there is no seen jury. The only characters we see are Mario, Peach, Toadsworth, the judge, and the prosecutor. Both the judge and the prosecutor are Piantas, by the way. There is no jury for the prosecution to adhere to. And this really isn't that big of an issue, since bench trials are a thing which the defendant can waive the need to have a jury in criminal cases, at least in the United States. The trial is with a judge only is very common in places like the United Kingdom, and that also makes sense that this type of trial would exist to reduce the need for graphics in this cutscene. Just to save a little bit of budget, why not? This is further proved since the entire courtroom has a stand for Mario, the judge's podium, a few chairs, and that's it. The rest of the courtroom is black with only the characters and those objects in it. Now obviously this is a reduction of the budget invested into the courtroom cutscene, and honestly they could have made it a lot better, but when you're working with limited money, things like this happen. It also would have been smarter for Mario to accept this type of trial, since the locals in this area would be biased to punish Mario, since they will believe that the local prosecution is correct over a foreigner who's trying to defend himself. Also, it could have been a part of Mario's defensive strategy to help remove this bias from the courtroom to give Mario a somewhat fair trial. However, Mario does not even have an attorney. He has no one to defend him. If you look back at the 5 characters in the scene, there's only 5. Only Mario's friends are defending him. There's no provided defense attorney for Mario. Now maybe Peach and Toadsworth are Mario's defense, but I doubt they would have enough law experience to win Mario's case. Peach and Toadsworth make sense to be acting as the defense because the court should provide Mario with a defense attorney, but no one would want the case since they think Mario is guilty. So Peach and Toadsworth agreed to defend Mario, and the court system accepts them because Mario's trial is a complete sham. There's no way for Mario to win this trial or to defend himself in court. The actually realistic thing with this court trial could be the objection, which would make sense as long as it is an objection for being argumentative from the prosecution, but only if Mario would be the witness on trial in this case. However, it is a valid part of a legal procedure if the prosecution is making a closing statement to sway the jury by using these argumentative statements. We have no idea where this trial is when we enter this cutscene. Thus, we have no idea what part of the trial we are even looking at. Is this part of the trial? Is this part of the closing statement by the prosecution? It seems that the closing statement would be the way to go, because it would invalidate the objection, so the legal system actually got it right here in the storyline. However, we have no way to know how the rest of the trial went, so we cannot conclude for certain if the trial was fair or not. I'm just going to assume it wasn't, since Mario is a foreign person in the Pianta nation. It does, however, seem that the punishment would be jail time and not forced public service. It most likely would be 1 to 3 years in time of jail for our favorite plumber, and a fine that would take care of cleaning up the damages. That is a crime and the punishment for doing graffiti. So that would make sense that that would be what Mario would get, or some sort of variant of that. The mess should be cleaned up by a crime scene cleaning service that is trained to restore a crime scene to its original nature, since Mario should be in jail. Now this has been in effect since the 1990s, friends, so definitely should be something that they should have put into the game. Now this has led me to believe in a theory that I have concocted, this theory, the Delfino cleanup theory. My theory concludes that Mario was subjected to be a victim of a sham trial that was unwinnable in order to force Mario to be the one to clean up the island instead of the Piantas doing it themselves, when Mario really should be in jail for causing damages exceeding the $400 limit to keep him out. The theory suggests that the Delfino justice system is lazy and forces their prisoners to cruel punishment by forcing them to clean up their own problems on their island. Now, in theory, Mario should be in jail, and the court system would have had a crime scene cleaning unit take care of this mess, but rather they are too set on forcing Mario to deal with a problem he didn't even know about until he had landed on that island earlier that day. Well, that's all I have for this theory. Let me know what you think in the comment sections down below, and if you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe for more content from the rest of our creators here at Invisible Corporations. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Chaos, signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.